Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So today I've got another Islander on the channel. This is the Islander or ISL-51. I picked this up a few weeks ago. It was the Memorial Weekend sale and it was quite a favourable discount. So I managed to pick this watch up for $229 I think, which sort of converted into about £140. And yeah, I thought, well, I didn't think my wife bought it for me for Father's Day, should I say, but I sort of pointed her in the right direction. So yeah, this turned up. I've worn it now for a few days, and yeah, I'm much more impressed with this Islander than I was the dressier piece. This, you can see why people like the Islanders, the dive watches and stuff. They're spec'd out really well and for a pretty decent price. So yeah, you can't really go wrong. I think this normally retails at $299, which is pretty good going, to be honest, given what you get for $299 of a Seiko. Although obviously Islander don't have the same sort of history, but I think they're quite well known though because of Mark and his presence on YouTube and stuff. So yeah, I would definitely give them a look. But yeah, I'm not going to go on too much because I do tend to give too much away in my intros. But guys, I really appreciate you tuning back in and all the support. And yeah, so as I said, I'm not going to go on too much this time, but enjoy the video. Thank you for tuning back in, and without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. Excuse my fan, I do have it on in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud, as it's quite warm here in London, UK at the moment. So, but yeah, this is the watch I got, Island watch. It's the Islander ISL-51, 38mm Pepsi diver. Yeah, I got this on the Memorial Weekend sale that they were doing over there. I've taken 3 links out. They are screw pins, which is pretty cool. You get a warranty card in there as well. But yeah, the packaging, as I said, of the last Islander, I had nothing to really write home about. But as I've also said in the past, I don't really care, if I'm honest. I'd rather the money be spent on the watch than the packaging. Packaging is not really a major selling point. It probably becomes more important when you spend more and more money, but for the sort of money you pay on these watches, I think you'd want them to invest the money on the watch. So yeah, as I said, yes, the Islander 51 or ISL 51. In the back of this watch, they do run Seiko NH36 movement, is it? Yeah, NH36 movement. And if you look at the back as well, which you'll see in a second, it is engraved, but we'll talk about it in a moment. So the case material, not the bezel insert, but the rest of the bezel, crown, case back, solid end links, bracelet, clasp, all 316L stainless steel. The case thickness is 14mm. The case diameter, when you go from the 9 to the 3, is 38mm. When you go from sort of 10 to the 4-ish position, it's 41.5mm. The lug width is 20mm, and the lug to lug, tip to tip from here to here is 44.5mm, but when you consider it's got male end links to the center link, it does become 50.5mm, so just bear that in mind. The case back style, as I was alluding to a moment ago, rather jumping the gun, is stainless steel. I do apologise for my fingerprints, but hopefully you can get to see that. And it's screwed down. It just got sort of some writing, 200 Sapphire Island watch and Islander just underneath. The bezel is a uni-directional bezel, and it's a ratchet style like the Seiko's 120 click uni-directional bezel. But yeah, that feels nice. I can't lie, it lines up pretty good as well, which is obviously not like Seiko. They don't tend to line up very well, but this one does the business. The crown type is screwed down, and it's also signed. I don't know if you can make that out with my lighting, but you can see the logo, the Islander logo, which is also at the 12 o'clock position on the dial. The strap material, as I alluded to already, is stainless steel, and it's a mixture of brushing and polishing. The center links are polished, the outer links are brushed, and you also get screw pins to make it that bit easier to size. The bracelet's done pretty well, so when it's solid end links, and your clasp is, so 2 of the 3 elements are milled, the outer shell is pressed, and no signage, which is a bit unfortunate, but it does come with 3 levels of micro adjustments, which is pretty cool, to be quite honest. The crystal covering that dial is sapphire crystal, which is a winner for me. I do like that. The water resistance, as you might be able to make out down at the 6 o'clock, is 200 meters. So that would give you about 20 atmospheres of water resistance. So that's pretty cool as well. The weight will appear in the top right hand corner, just denoting it's about 150 grams, give or take. But yeah, let's have a look at the dial in a bit more detail, guys. So what you have is a raised rehaut with the chapter of so it's got a chapter ring with a minute, a second markings going around the edge. Inside that, you've got applied indices everywhere except for the 3 o'clock position where you've got the day-date combination. Below the indices at the 12, you've got the Islander logo. I don't mind that logo actually, I think it looks pretty cool. Above the indices at the 6, you've got automatic 200 meters, just sort of denoting the fact what I've said in terms of 200 meter water resistance. Obviously, I don't know, well, not obviously, the everything you can see in terms of the hands, the applied indices and the bezel all loomed, and the loom is sensational, guys. You'll get a look at the end when I do the loom shots. But let's have a look at the movement. As I've already alluded to, it is a Seiko NH36 movement, so it's hacking hand winded. If you unscrew it, it'll pop, which is really cool. And then what you can do then is you can take it out to the second position, it will hack. And if you put it into the first position, you can change the date. Let me go back through to today's date, because my wife's going to wear this for a few days now, and it will just save me having to do it later. But that's the date you go the other way. And obviously I'll just scroll back through to Wednesday, because that's the date I'm recording this. And Bob's your uncle. I'm not going to say your aunt is. So you just put that back in, it will, and then you can screw it back up. As I've said before, I probably won't be able to screw it up easily now, but it's been no problem with the knurling at all. So yeah, that screws up nicely, as you can see. But that's the dial. It's a nice blue dial with white accents with the blue, which I think is pretty cool. The dial is very, very pretty, to be honest. But let me pop it on my wrist. As I've said before, my wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist. I said I'd take 3 links out of it to fit me, and I haven't used any micro adjustments that's open to me. But yeah, that's what it looks like on me. I think it's a really nice watch, to be honest, guys. I could see why the dive watches get a bit more love. I wasn't a big fan of the dress watch that I received, but this watch is far better in my opinion. But that's just subjective, to be quite honest. But yeah, let's have a look at, so this will take me on now to what I think is pants and pukka. We always start with pants, we go out on a high with pukka. So what I'd say the first thing for pants, I'd go with the polished case back. I don't mind it generally in terms of what they've done with the engraving and stuff, but polished case backs are a nightmare. I got one on the Exciton and it just sort of scuffed up so quickly, and it's a bit demoralising, to be honest, given it's only my skin touching it. I don't know how sort of coarse my skin and hair is on my arm, but it shouldn't be scratching up too easy, but it does, so that's unfortunate. The unsigned clasp also, as I alluded to before, I'm not sure why they just couldn't write Islander or put a little logo on there. Bit sterile for me. I would like them to have signed that, to be honest. The pressed outer shell of the clasp, there seems to be a theme with Islander watches in terms of only doing 2 elements milled, and the outer element is pressed. Yeah, I'm sure moving forward that could be something to be looked at, Mark. So if you watch this video, that would be another little bit of advice. Take it or leave it, it's up to you. And I don't know if you're about to see this, guys. I will leave a picture up also. I don't know if you're going to make it out. On the back part of the link, it arrived with a scratch on it. So that's a bit unfortunate. I don't know if you can make that out, but I will leave a picture of a close-up. But yeah, it arrived with a scratch on the back link, which is, again, unfortunate. Would have rather it not done that. But again, there's the QC problems, which we also saw in the other Islander. Again, disappointing. So yeah, just to surmise, I'll go with the polished case back. I would go with the unsigned clasp and the pressed outer shell of the clasp, and damage to the back part of the link. I know you can't see it, but again, it shouldn't be arriving in that sort of condition, in my opinion. And that will take me on to what I think is pukka. I'll go with the sapphire crystal. I know I say that every time, guys, but I do love sapphire crystal, I can't lie. The dial, as I said, I do like that sort of blue dial. I do think it offers a really nice contrast, and the blue's a really nice shade of blue. And the signed elements and everything else, everything's just in nice proportions, to be honest. The bezel, as I said, the bezel lining up, and it's a sapphire bezel. I don't know if I said that before, I do apologise if I didn't, but it's a sapphire bezel, and it's actually really, really cool. So yeah, the bezel alignment and the fact it's all loomed and stuff is fantastic. And obviously the loom generally, Not only is it lume bezel, but everything you can see in terms of the applied elements in the hands on the dial were also loomed, which is great. The bracelet and the screw pins. So the bracelet is really nice. I do like this bracelet. The tolerances are pretty much bang on where you want them to be for sort of Jubilee bracelet, and the screw pins just give you that bit of ease in terms of being able to size it. There's no pin and collar, which is probably one of my least favourite, especially the way that Seiko do it. So I'm glad he went for screw pins, and also only screw pins from one side. Doing it for me both sides is a bit of a pain, and you know what. And the fit and finish of the watch, to be honest, I think this is done really well in terms of the tolerances. There's no play in where the lugs are. They're solid as the solid end links, so the end links fit nicely. No play. It's everything else. The bracelet, the tolerance is nice. The fit and finish of the watch in terms of the polishing and the brushing is done to a very, very high standard. So yeah, the fit and finish, I'd have to applaud Long Island watches for this effort. It's actually pretty cool. So just to surmise in terms of what I think is pukka, it is a sapphire crystal, the dial, the bezel, the lume, the bracelet, the screw pins that go into the bracelet, and the fit and finish of the watch just in general. And that would then take me on obviously to whether I'd recommend this watch, and I would definitely recommend this watch. The only caveat I would say in terms of the 38mm is it is a bit small. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep this watch, unfortunately, because I'm starting to feel like it's a bit too small on my wrist, and I haven't got a big wrist by any stretch. So just be mindful, guys. If you buy this and you've got a 7.25 inch wrist upwards, it may not sit with you very nicely. So if you live in the UK and you've got to pay import, do bear these things in mind, because obviously selling it as well could become problematic, because if you sell it on eBay, which I do, you won't get many people finding these watches or even typing them in. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, I definitely recommend this watch, guys. For the price, I think it normally retails for sort of $299, maybe a bit less, which I think is worth every penny, to be honest, with the specs you're getting, with the build quality. Yeah, generally I think it's a very well made watch, and I'll definitely recommend it. I will leave a link taking you to this watch in the description. It's not an affiliate link, it's just making your job that bit easier to find the watch. So by all means, head over there, and then you'll also be able to check out some other colourways that Mark is selling over at Long Island Watches. And he's very responsive. I'm sure if you send him an email with any questions or anything, I'm sure he'll be happy to help. But I don't want to make too many promises on his behalf. But guys, thank you for tuning back in. I do appreciate your time, support and attention. It means an awful lot. And as I always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the best.